You don't need a fancy intro, you just need better taste in music.
Everything that you like sucks.
I'm just playing, but I do have 10 more metal albums you need to check out this month, and we're starting with Casket Robbery with Rituals of Death. The year may be almost over, but we've still got some top-notch death metal albums to cover yet. I've been following this band for a bit now, even before they went through the vocalist change, and I must say that this is easily their best work yet. The bass tone is just disgusting, Megan's growls are gnarly as fuck, and I'm loving the little additions of spooky synth. With both the brutality of Abnormality and some of the melodic riffing of Arch Enemy, Casket Robbery are poised to take the death metal world by storm given the right marketing.
That's some heavy shit, man.
Then we have Gorycs with Kamienie. So many black metal bands go for the wall of sound approach when building atmosphere, so it's refreshing to find albums that do an even better job with a more minimalist approach. Right from the opening track, the pendulum-like swing of the bassy guitars and almost improvisational sounding vocals set an imposing tone that few do with 10 times the notes. Bitter and despairing, this is the musical equivalent of Abandon All Hope Ye Who Enter Here. Doomy, crunchy, groovy bass lines and entrancing serpent-like guitars. It's at once dark, nihilistic, and hypnotic, as if casting a black spell on anyone who dares to listen.
Lightning bolt! Lightning bolt!
Then we have the last 10 seconds of life with Disquisition of an Execution.
I am dead, I am life, I am free. No longer mortal, forged in fire.
Deathcore is a genre that gets a bad rap for bands all supposedly sounding the same. Recently did a video on that. So I'm always glad to share projects who break free from the mold. And while the ingredients here are all familiar, it's the execution that I find so interesting.
Sacrificed body and mind, the final union, one last time.
There's elements of old school, beatdown, symphonic, down-tempo, but all mixed up in ways I wouldn't expect. Take opening track Dreams of Extermination, which is this wonderful union of doomy guitars, hardcore-influenced vocals, and eerie minimalist backing chorals. Or Liberation with its methodical start-stop riffs and brutal snarls offset by the almost tribal-sounding snare drum. Short but sweet EP that does its job of getting me excited for the next full length.
Thank you, sir. May I have another?
Then we have Bonecarver with Carnage Funeral. So a lot of people have been asking me if I didn't think Lorna Shore's Pain Remains was top shelf, then who does it better? And I think that this album almost perfectly answers that question. Bonecarver engaged in a very similar approach to symphonic deathcore, with Carnage Funeral even kicking things off as if they were sharing notes. The difference is that each of these songs ends up standing apart to make for a much more engaging album from start to finish, if you ask me. The symphonics are equally grand, but also know when to take a back seat. The riffs are better differentiated from song to song, breakdowns are used more sparingly to greater effect, and all the while I think that Fernando's vocal performance is every bit as impressive as Will's. Not to mention they cover just as much ground in only 39 minutes. Same toolbox, just better construction. Feel free to disagree, but you'll be wrong.
I am the golden god of this place! I reign supreme!
Then we have Terrorhammer with Gateways to Hades. Y'all know I'm always down for a bit of rebellious Blackened thrash, and on that front, this album is a scorcher. Highly recommended for fans of Venom and Destroyer 666, and self-described as necro speed metal, Terrorhammer bring more fiery riffage in 36 minutes than most do in twice that time. Insane tremolo picking, shredding solos, and echoing Blackened vocals fuse thrash, punk, and black metal into a giant middle finger to all that is righteous and good. A seething fireball of fury delivered straight down your gullet.
Are you not a entertained!
Before we go on to the next one, be sure to like the video and share your own favorites in the comments if you're enjoying yourself, and maybe even subscribe for more recommendation and ranking videos every week. But next up, we have Chelsea Grin with Suffer in Hell. Honestly, I was never a big Chelsea Grin fan back in the day, but ever since Tom Barber joined...
Perfection.
Furthermore, I'd say that this is a pretty big step up from Eternal Nightmare in every possible way. The symphonic backing elements are seriously ominous, the riffs more infectious, and Tom's disgusting vocal gymnastics more varied than ever. Not to mention we get another fantastic feature from the late great Trevor Sternad on Forever Bloom. And whether I'm banging my head to the grooves of Origin of Sin, or they're getting more profound and atmospheric with the likes of Flood Lungs, the screams, snarls, and growls never fail to turn my head. Another case where some bands think that they need an hour or more to make an impact, but Chelsea Grin only need 27 minutes. It just leaves me hungry for the companion album Suffer in Heaven in 2023. Then we have a double dose of EPs from friends of the channel here, starting with Bestial Tongues and Let Me In. Right down to the cover, this feels like it would have been perfect for Halloween. But regardless, welcome back the New Jersey homies with another short but sweet bit of grindcore goodness, ripping and tearing their way into your ear canals. And despite the brief 11-minute runtime, I can hear quite a few influences coming through on this one. Hollowed Out mixes Pig Destroyer with riffs that wouldn't be out of place on a Portal record, while the title track definitely has some of the Black Dahlia murder in its DNA. Get in, get ground up, spin it all over again, or play it back to back with the also 11-minute Forgemasters, A Future Without Organic Lifeforms. You might already know these guys from their metal reviews and appearances on this channel, but to those big brain dorks commenting, "Where's your album?" they said, "Hold my beer." What follows is 3 cyborg-killing sci-fi anthems delivered in death metal perfection, and I also love the fun sense of humor in the Doom parody album cover and campy music video. The chuggy riffs feel straight out of Cannibal Corpse's A Skeletal Domain with just a touch of At the Gates and a Terminator makeover. The perfect music for rebelling against our robot overlords.
Come with me if you want to live.
Switching things up, we have Epica with the Alchemy project. This new release feels very much like an extension of everything I loved about 2021's Omega. Not to mention at 35 minutes, it's long enough that it still feels like a full length to me. And with all of these amazing guest features, it's not something you're gonna want to miss. We've got appearances from members of Flesh God Apocalypse, Soilwork, Insomnium, God Dethroned, Mercure, Shining, Uriah Heep, Winter Sun, Camelot, and even Aborted, all coming together for a truly grand symphonic metal experience. Personally, I'm partial to the Flesh God and Bjorn features on The Great Tribulation and Death Is Not the End, respectively. And then my favorite album of November has to go to Tallah with The Generation of Danger. The best modern nu metal band of this generation, like the competition is not even close. With guitars influenced by Korn and Slipknot, a dedicated DJ, Mike fucking Portnoy's son Max on drums, and one of the most eclectic vocalists around in Justin Bonnet's, expect a wild ride. Seriously, if you haven't experienced Justin, just ask dude what style he uses and this will be his answer.
Yes.
Bottom line is that Tallah don't adhere to any specific framework beyond being as gnarly heavy as possible, sounding especially unhinged on tracks like Dicker's Done and Of Nothing. Y'all check out this playlist for more of my favorite metal albums of 2022, and again, let me know down in the comments what were your favorites. But that'll do it for now. Flight of Icarus signing off. I will see you in the trenches.